Good morning, folks. I'd like to make a forecast for September the 4th to the 5th, 2012, when I see the possibility of a large earthquake occurring in most likely the Pacific Ocean, and it could cause a tsunami. Here is the astrological chart that brings me to this prediction. I include the position of the galactic center. I'm the only person doing this as far as I know, and it's because of a discovery I made in 2005. This connected the Indian Ocean tsunami to an alignment between the galactic center here in the December sign of Sagittarius and the Sun, and the full moon was opposite. So I've noticed that bow aspects and bow and arrow aspects pointing at the galactic center and Pluto that is transiting this area do tend to cause earthquakes and other disasters. And on the 4th of September, or 4th to 5th of September, we have not just one bow, we have 3 bows. Another bow points at Saturn and Mars, and the third bow points at Chiron and Neptune in Pisces. So that's a pretty large number of bows. At some points in the day this can even be increased in number of bows to create a Star of David aspect, which also is very powerful. So the moon is moving from Aries, fire sign, to Taurus, an earth sign, and is creating a bow and arrow that I've talked about in my earlier videos this August, to Saturn and Neptune. Here the bow and arrow is created here by Pluto in Capricorn and the galactic center with him, and the Sun and Mercury over here in Virgo. And this implies to me that whatever happens, it's going to involve fire and earth. It's here as well, we've got the fire planet Mars and Saturn, an earth planet that I associate with earthquakes. So the earthquake is likely to be of a magma-induced kind, a volcanic earthquake, or caused by shifts in magma inside the earth. And it could also be concomitant with a volcanic eruption. However, the strong involvement of water signs, we've got Scorpio, quite a deadly often sign involved in disasters, in this bow aspect with Neptune, which is also a watery planet in its own water sign with Chiron, and we've got an involvement of the moon, which is watery, and we've got a square of the moon to Venus in Cancer, a sign I associate with water and floods. So Venus is in a T-square. So we've got 3 water signs all involved, and that with the strong earth sign involvement. We've got Saturn involved, Pluto in Capricorn involved, and the moon moving into an earth sign as well. The Sun and Mercury also in earth signs. So it does suggest to me an earthquake with possible tsunami or flooding, and the other possibility is storms with flooding. So Saturn in Libra. Libra is an air sign, and we've got the South Node as well in an air sign with Jupiter and Lilith. That could also cause some storms to be passing over that cause some material damages and costs. So that's the most important thing to look at in the chart, and then I'll explain the areas that I think. We've got as well that we've got this T-square as well in September. It's the most exact, this T-square between the nodes of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, to Neptune and Chiron, and later Chiron, to Neptune in Pisces. And that's why I think that this time could cause some pretty bad water disasters. Okay. So here I introduce another method for predicting where disasters will occur. Often the Sun is in the sign or zone where the disaster occurs. So these are zones, all these boxes here, and they have glyphs in them for different signs of the zodiac. So in January 2010 I was concerned that there could be a large earthquake around the American continent, and contacted some of my acquaintances, and the moon was going over the galactic center, and the sun and a group of bodies, a large number, about 5 of them, were in the sign of Capricorn. So I thought that there could be somewhere near the American continent an earthquake, and the Haiti earthquake occurred in this longitude zone. So this prediction was recorded by Willard van der Bogart in a review of my book. This continued throughout the year, so that as the moon crossed the galactic center in July, on July the 23rd, there were 3 earthquakes over magnitude 7 in the Leo longitude zone by the Philippines. And then in September, there was the Christchurch earthquake, which I predicted. At least I got the right longitude for it in this zone, and it was in the pure Virgo zone where the sun was placed in September, which means that, of course, there could be another earthquake there this September, though more likely is the Virgo Pisces, because of the strong influence of both these signs at the moment, the bow and arrow. And in fact, on September the 1st, as the sun was in Virgo and the moon in Pisces, in Kamchatka a volcano did erupt. And then we have here the Pisces latitude zone and the Pisces longitude zone, and the pure Pisces zone is Great Britain. So it's possible that Great Britain could have a disaster as well on the 4th to the 5th of September. It could involve water, it could involve Mars in Scorpio, which has been involved before. The Great Fire of London occurred as Mars was in Scorpio in strong aspects. So there are a number of possibilities. I would say be wakeful around the Philippines still, although the sun is moving away from this area, so that the disaster level should reduce. There still could be a tsunami affecting the Philippines and the small islands around the coast of the Pacific, but that this zone where the sun is placed is largely the area that we should be considering at the moment as a possible source for an earthquake or tsunami. So I'd like to continue and explain this more, also about the Mayan prophecy, because this is very much involved and I haven't talked about it before, but I'll have to do this in another video. So thank you for listening. Bye bye.